You have within you something so powerful, so precise, so divinely tuned, that most of the world has overlooked it entirely, not because it is hidden, but because it is so deeply and intimately interwoven into the fabric of your being that you have mistaken it for ordinary thought, common intuition, or passing emotion. But I tell you tonight, with all the authority given to me by the one infinite source that breathes life into all things, God gave you a telepathic gift. Not a metaphor, not a poetic idea, an actual living, breathing power of mind, seeded into your consciousness for the express purpose of creation. Not survival, not mediocrity, but abundance, wealth, dominion. You were designed to prosper. This is not wishful thinking or positive psychology dressed in religious clothing. This is the eternal law, clothed in human language. Your mind is not a receiver alone. It is a transmitter. You do not merely reflect the world around you, you project it. And the wealth you desire, the millions, the freedom, the homes, the opportunities, these are not outside you. They are ideas, and the very moment you think them with conviction, with inner vision and clarity, the universal intelligence begins organizing them into physical form. You may not yet have realized this, but every wealthy person who has ever walked this earth, whether they understood it or not, was using this divine telepathic gift. They were impressing upon the formless substance of the world their thoughts, vivid, feeling-laden, focused thoughts. And the world, like a mirror, reflected it back to them in dollars, in contracts, in keys to homes and businesses and influence. The only difference between you and them is that they were doing it intentionally or instinctively, while you may have been doing it chaotically or unconsciously. But tonight that changes. Tonight you remember, not learn, remember. Because this power is not new. It was given to you before you were born. It was breathed into you when the breath of the Almighty made you a living soul, and that breath has never left. You are not here to beg. You are not here to struggle. You are not here to earn your place in the world through sweat and fear. You are here to create by the divine right of imagination. You think thoughts, yes, but more importantly, you feel them. And it is in the feeling that creation happens. God did not give you this gift to think vaguely about money and wonder why it doesn't arrive. He gave it to you to hold an idea of abundance so deeply and emotionally that it becomes more real to you than your current bank balance. When that happens, when the idea of wealth feels more familiar, more natural, more true than the idea of lack, you have initiated the process. The wheel of reality begins to turn. The world calls it coincidence. The materialist calls it chance. But those who know, who have awakened to the truth, see it clearly. What you think, you transmit. What you feel, you summon. And what you persist in imagining must come to pass. Because the world is not dead matter. It is alive, responsive, sensitive to the vibrations of the mind. Your mind. Let me be very clear. The money is already there. The wealth is already in existence. The only thing standing between you and the experience of it is the illusion that you are separate from it. That illusion is dismantled the moment you use your telepathic gift consciously. Begin with the end. Begin with the feeling. Begin with the assumption that you are already a millionaire. Not someday, not eventually. Now, walk as one who is already wealthy. Speak as one who knows their value. Feel the texture of the life you have imagined until it is more real to you than the facts reported by your five senses. Because here is the secret. Your senses report the past. They are instruments tuned to reflect what was. But imagination reports the future. And your feelings, those deep silent knowings within you, are the language of God. They are your compass, your key, your sacred technology. Every time you sit in stillness, see your life the way you wish it to be, not to escape reality, but to command it. You are not waiting for wealth to arrive. You are giving it permission to appear. You are impressing it upon the field of all possibilities. And the field must respond. It must. Because God cannot lie, and his law is that as you believe in your heart, so shall it be done unto you. You were never meant to chase, you were meant to attract, not through striving, but through knowing. The $1 million, the business, the thriving investments, the opportunities, they are already looking for you, but they cannot find the version of you that is doubting, fearing, and resisting. They are coded metaphysically to locate the one who has become the thing they seek. And that becoming happens in consciousness. Let your mind dwell only on that which you desire. Refuse to entertain the images of failure, of doubt, of how it won't happen. The moment you do, you are misusing your gift. You are sending out contradictory vibrations into a law that only knows how to say yes. So guard your thoughts, not with fear, but with reverence. They are sacred, they are holy. They are the blueprint of your financial future. You are not a beggar in the universe. You are a creator, a vessel through which the infinite mind experiences itself. And your wealth is not merely for you. It is for the expansion of love, of beauty, of generosity in this world. But it starts within. It starts with your decision to stop identifying with the small, limited self and start living from the God self, the part of you that knows lack is a lie, that limitation is an illusion, and that money is but a symbol of directed energy. So start to feel now, not later, not when the bank account shows it, but now, the feeling of wealth. How would you walk if you had no financial limitation? How would you breathe? What would you wear? How would you move through your day if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that money came to you effortlessly, consistently, abundantly? Begin there. That is your starting point. Not action, not struggle, imagination, feeling, identity. These are your tools. And don't confuse wishful thinking with true inner conviction. Wishful thinking is hoping something might happen, but inner conviction is knowing it already has. When you use your telepathic gift properly, you're not asking for money, you are embodying it, you are becoming the wealth. And that change in identity alters the entire energetic blueprint of your life. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And when you become the vibration of abundance, when you merge with the frequency of financial freedom, you pull to yourself all things needed for its expression. Let no one tell you otherwise. The world may scoff, but the world does not know the secrets of the kingdom. The world may say you must hustle, that you must network, that you must prove your worth through hours and labor and sacrifice. But you know better now. You are not here to conform to the world's ideas. You are here to transform them. And the only transformation that ever needed to happen was within. See yourself now, clearly, vividly, as one who has already made it, one who already lives in the home, who already commands the wealth, who already gives generously, joyfully, without fear. Let that image fill you. Let it rise up from within you like a fountain of truth. Let it push out all lesser beliefs. Because when the truth is fully realized in you, the facts must follow. You are not creating wealth from nothing, you are revealing it. You are removing the blocks, the limiting assumptions, the mental shadows that have covered the light. The wealth has always been within you. This is not poetry, it is metaphysical law. And this law does not discriminate. It doesn't care if you were born poor, if you failed before, if you've made mistakes. The moment you align with it, it begins to work. You do not need a perfect past. You need a new perception, a new vision, a new decision. And once you make that decision to live from the end, to feel the money as already yours, to speak with the voice of someone who knows their worth, the whole universe begins moving. And it moves through people, through circumstances, through unexpected miracles, because you have told it what to do, not with words, but with feeling. And feeling is the secret, always has been. Thought without feeling is like a letter never mailed. But when thought is clothed in deep conviction, in gratitude, in joy, it becomes a command, and God responds. Not tomorrow, not someday, but the moment you truly believe. And when I say believe, I do not mean belief as the world teaches it, some vague intellectual agreement or half-hearted optimism. I mean the belief that reshapes your emotional center, that reorganizes your nervous system, that overrides every sense of lack until you are vibrating as one who lacks nothing. That kind of belief bends the world around it. That kind of belief is a force. And it is accessible to you right now in this very breath. You need not wait for external conditions to align. That is not how creation works. The alignment begins within. You close your eyes and you choose the image. You feel the end as though it were here. You rehearse the life of the millionaire not out of fantasy, but out of fidelity to the truth. You were made to prosper. That is your natural state. And to imagine yourself in abundance is not delusion, it is obedience. In obedience to the design of the divine intelligence that placed you here to experience the full glory of its wealth through you. But here is what most do not understand. Wealth is not in the thing, it is in the consciousness. Two people can receive the same amount of money. One expands, the other collapses. Why? Because the one has an inner container that can hold it while the other does not. So you must become the vessel. You must become the consciousness of a millionaire long before the dollars appear. And when you do, you are using the telepathic gift as it was intended. You are speaking directly to the fabric of reality, and the fabric is listening. You do not need to figure out how. That is not your domain. The how belongs to the universe. Your job is to become the state, to live in the state, to persist in the state, and the state will magnetize the form, effortlessly, beautifully, and often in ways your rational mind could never predict. That is why logic will never make you rich, but imagination will. For imagination is the only language God speaks fluently. Every time you see yourself with more than enough, every time you feel the freedom of choice, the joy of giving, the security of overflow, you are rewiring the invisible. You are speaking to the universe in the only tongue it understands, the language of vibration. And when that vibration is steady, when you no longer question it, when you no longer undo it with doubt, you begin to live in the promise. And the promise is that you shall have whatsoever you desire when you ask, believing that you already received it. This is not theory. This is practice, daily, moment by moment. When the thought of fear arises, do not entertain it. It is a ghost. It is not real. Only the feeling you dwell in is real. So choose it. Choose abundance. Choose the knowing that all is provided, not will be, is. The moment you claim it in consciousness, the claim is registered in the invisible, and the visible must follow. And yes, people will say, but look at your account, look at your circumstances, be realistic. And to them you must smile and say nothing, because you are not building your life on circumstances. You are building it on the rock of inner knowing. You are not reacting to life, you are commanding it. The storm may rage around you, but your inner world is calm because it knows the truth. You already are what you desire to be. The $1 million is not outside you, it is a frequency, a consciousness, a state. Enter that state now, marry it. Let it become so natural to you that anything less feels foreign. That is how creation works. You do not receive what you deserve, you receive what you accept. So accept more. Accept the highest, accept the most magnificent vision of yourself and walk in it, even if no one else sees it yet, especially then. Because the moment you hold it, the moment you feel it, the world begins to shift. The phone call, the opportunity, the sudden idea, the unexpected favor, It will come, and not by accident, but by law. You are now a participant in divine law. You are not hoping for miracles, you are generating them through your alignment. That is what the telepathic gift is, a divine interface with the universal intelligence that shapes form according to thought. You are already broadcasting. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption is a signal. So why not broadcast wealth? Why not let every vibration of your being say, I am rich, I am abundant, I am secure, I am free. Say it until it drowns out every other narrative. Say it until your cells believe it. Say it until the echo comes back as cash, as clients, as contracts, as real world manifestation. And let your joy be the proof. Let your peace be the evidence. Because the moment you stop worrying, the moment you stop doubting, you are showing the universe that you trust it. And that trust is the bridge. That trust is the lever. You do not need more effort. You need more surrender to the truth that it is already done. Picture yourself in the life you desire. Walk through it in your imagination like a home you already own. See the details, smell the air, feel the fabrics, the textures, the space. And don't just visit. Live there. Live there in consciousness until the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to accommodate your new dwelling. This is the holy transaction. This is the exchange. You give up doubt and you receive certainty. You give up fear and you receive power. You give up the old identity and you receive the truth of who you are, a conscious creator, endowed with the ability to summon substance from spirit, wealth from thought, life from imagination. You are not waiting for God to move. God is waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to step into your divine inheritance and say, I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know what I came here to do. And what you came here to do was create, to expand, to enjoy, to manifest divine opulence on this physical plane. That is not vanity. That is sacred purpose. You cannot bless others from emptiness. You cannot give from lack. So choose now to fill yourself with abundance. Not tomorrow, not next year, but now. Choose to live as one who has received, the one who walks in gratitude for the millions already theirs. Gratitude not for what is coming, but for what already is. Because in the eternal now, it is. And this is not pretending, this is not fantasy, this is you standing in the truth that thought precedes form, that energy precedes matter, that your mind, when aligned with divine vision, becomes the birthing place of worlds. You were never poor. You were uninformed. But now you are informed. Now you know. And knowledge applied becomes power. So let this be your practice. Every morning before the world begins to speak to you, speak to it. Declare your wealth, feel your power, anchor yourself in the vibration of abundance. Let that be your reality and let everything else fall away. The mind will protest, the world may resist, but if you persist, if you hold the image, if you inhabit the state long enough, the telepathic gift will do what it was designed to do. You will draw to you every dollar, every deal, every person, every path necessary for the fulfillment of your vision. Not through toil, but through divine orchestration. Because now you are not working alone, you are working with the mind of God. And when the mind of God agrees with the mind of man, there is nothing that cannot be done. And the agreement happens in feeling. The sacred union of creator and creation is consummated in imagination. That is where you make your millions, not at the desk, not in the meeting, not in the bank, but in the silence, in the stillness, where your inner voice says, this is who I truly am. And the universe, always obedient, always faithful, responds as you wish. So when you rise each day, do not rise as one waiting to receive, Rise as one who already possesses. This shift is subtle, yet it is the fulcrum upon which your entire reality pivots. The moment you inhabit the feeling of already having, you release the vibration of lack. You no longer seek wealth, you become it. And what you become, you magnetize. Imagine yourself now walking into a room, and your very presence shifts the atmosphere, not because of arrogance or display, but because you have become abundance in form. People feel it. Circumstances bend to it. Opportunities rush to meet it, because abundance recognizes its own. It does not resist itself. It seeks itself. And when it finds its home in your consciousness, it multiplies. You must understand you are not manipulating matter, you are not bending the world through brute strength. You are aligning with what has already been given to you, for every desire carries its own fulfillment. Every true longing is a divine signal of what already exists within the unseen, waiting to be clothed in flesh. It is not a question of if, but of when, and the when is determined by your inner agreement with the truth of its presence. No more hoping. Hope is the language of distance. You are not hoping to become wealthy. You are remembering that you already are. You are brushing off the dust of fear, of smallness, of the lie that said you were separate from the source. But how could the creation ever be separate from the Creator? How could the wave be separate from the ocean? You are made of the same divine substance. The very breath within you is God's breath, and that breath animates your thoughts, your images, your visions. When you think abundance, when you feel wealth, you are not creating something new, you are activating what has been dormant. You are giving form to the invisible, shape to the eternal, through the faculty of your own mind. The most powerful thing you can do is sit in stillness and imagine yourself rich, not because it is pleasant, but because it is true. And the more you do this, the more the subconscious accepts it as normal. And once it becomes normal, it becomes visible. That is the law. The subconscious does not argue, it accepts. You are not in competition with anyone. There is no scarcity in spirit. The supply is infinite because the source is infinite. So stop measuring yourself against others. Their path is not your path. Their wealth is not your wealth. The only thing that matters is your state. Because your state creates your fate. You could lose all you have tomorrow and build it again if the state remains. That is why the inner work is the real work. People spend their lives chasing money, but never transforming the mind that attracts it. And so they live in cycles, boom, bust, feast, famine. But you are different now. You see the truth. You understand that when the inner man is reformed, the outer man follows. That is what it means to be born again, not in flesh, but in consciousness. Let yourself be born again today into the state of wealth. Let the old story die. Let the old self fall away. The one who worried about bills, who felt shame around money, who thought they weren't worthy, that self is an illusion. And illusions only have power when you believe them. Withdraw your belief, and the whole structure crumbles. Replace it with truth. Speak this truth to yourself until your bones believe it. I am chosen. I am powerful. I am wealthy. I am in harmony with the riches of the universe. And then let the feelings flow. Let them take root. Do not resist them. Do not question them. Let the joy of your imagined wealth be more real to you than your current bank account, and your bank account will catch up. It must, because you are now using your telepathic gift. You are not speaking to the outer world. You are speaking to the source of all things. And the source always responds, not to your words, but to your vibration. So if you say, I am rich, but feel poor, the signal is scrambled. But if you say nothing and feel wealth, the message is clear. And that message writes itself into matter. This is the secret known by the mystics, the sages, the prophets, not because they were special, but because they listened. They quieted the outer world long enough to hear the inner one. And in that inner world, they found gold. They found the keys to creation. And you hold those same keys now. You need only use them. And when doubt comes, and it will, because the old mind resists death, greet it like a friend. Thank it for protecting you in the past, then lovingly let it go. Replace it with the deeper truth. This is a journey of remembrance, not achievement. You are not striving to become. You are relaxing into being. And that is the highest form of power. Your wealth does not lie in effort, but in alignment. Not in strategy, but in surrender. And surrender does not mean passivity. It means choosing the inner reality even when the outer contradicts it. It means walking by faith and not by sight. It means becoming so anchored in your vision that nothing outside you can sway you. This is how the millionaire consciousness works. It does not beg. It does not plead. It declares. It knows. And because it knows, the universe bows in response. Everything begins to conspire in your favor, not because of luck, but because of law. The law of assumption, the law of vibration, the law of being, all point to the same truth. You already have what you believe you have. So believe it now, not tomorrow, not when things look better. Now. Feel it in your chest. Feel it in your breath. Let your entire body respond to the frequency of abundance. And if you fall out of it, return. Gently, quickly. The quicker you return, the faster the momentum builds. Until one day it no longer feels like an effort, it just feels like you. That is when manifestation becomes natural. That is when wealth begins to seek you. You won't have to force it. You won't have to strain. It will come not because you chased it, but because you matched it. And matching is the only thing required. Not the appearance, but the essence. You become the thing before you see the thing. That is the divine process. And as you live in this state more and more, you will begin to notice changes. Subtle at first, then undeniable. A new contact, a spontaneous idea. A door that was once closed, now flung wide open. Do not call it coincidence. There are no coincidences in a universe governed by vibration. It is simply your reflection catching up. You will speak less about lack and more about possibility. You will complain less and praise more. You will move through the world with a quiet certainty because you are not looking for signs. You are the sign. The sign that wealth is not reserved for the few, but available to all who dare to claim it within. So claim it now, with boldness, with joy, with the authority of one who knows who they are. You are not a beggar at the gate. You are the gate. You are not a child lost in a storm. You are the eye of the storm, calm, centered, unwavering. Let the winds of circumstance blow. They cannot touch you when your inner world is anchored in truth. This truth is the foundation of your millions. Not a scheme, not a hustle, a knowing, a deep cellular knowing that you are already provided for, that the supply was given before the need arose, that every idea, every resource, every connection you require is being summoned by your faith. And faith is not a feeling, it is a stance, a posture of the soul that says, "It is done."